Hi guys, so good evening, welcome back to my magical world. It's me Frostbite and currently it's 6:45 in the evening right now. Good evening guys. So today is November 17, 2023, so we're still catching up with those days that I don't feel myself, that those days that are challenging. Now I think everything is we're everything is always I mean everything is kind of like working in my favor right now, so let's just do this. Okay. Wala yung pinsan ko Umalis siya. I'm not aware that he is going to um in Manila. So ayan. Anyways, proceed na tayo guys. Lucio, one of the members of this group, was a 20-year-old happy-go-lucky gas station attendant when a motorcycle accident paralyzed him below the waist. He had previously liked playing rugby and listening to music, but basically, he remembers his life as purposeless and uneventful. After the accident, his enjoyable experiences have increased both in number and complexity. So upon recovery from the tragedy, he enrolled in college, graduated in languages, and now works as a freelance tax consultant. Sometimes, no, accidents kind of like redirect us with other goals. Sometimes it is the reason why we find our purpose. Sometimes, I'm not so sure about you guys. But I'm really happy. Don't get into accident, ha. So, I want you all to be safe wherever you are, guys. Okay? So, wait lang. Both study and work are intense sources of flow. So are fishing and shooting with a bow and arrow. He is currently a regional archery champion competing from a wheelchair. These are some of the comments Lucio made in his interview. So when I became paraplegic, it was like being born again. I had to learn from scratch everything I used to know, but in a different way. I had to learn to dress myself, to use my head better. I had to become part of the environment and use it without trying to control it. It took commitment, willpower, and patience. As far as the future is concerned, I hope to keep improving, to keep breaking through the limitations of my handicap. Everybody must have a purpose after becoming a paraplegic. These improvements have become my life goal. Franco is another person in this group. His legs were immobilized 5 years ago, and he also developed severe urological problems requiring several surgical operations. Before his accident, he was an electrician and he often enjoyed his work. But his most intense flow experience came from acrobatic dancing on Saturday nights, so the paralysis of his legs was an especially bitter blow. Franco now works as a counselor to other paraplegics. In this case, too, the almost inconceivable setbacks has led to an enrichment rather than a diminution of the complexity of experience. Franco sees his main challenge now as that of helping other victims avoid despair and assisting their physical rehabilitation. He says the most important goal in life is to feel that I can be of use to others, help recent victims accept their situation. So, ang hirap, no? Like, when you have gone through all these things, when think about it, guys, we as a human being, we're just worrying about money. But these people that are having those kind of experiences, accidents, diba? It's hard kasi you're physically incapable at first, diba? When you're not mentally, physically prepared for that situation. So, kailangan yung acceptance, diba, sa situation and guidance, of course, with what needs to be done. Also, you have to really feel useful along the way kasi eventually, ganon, you will have that sense of you will have those sense of fulfillment once you are once na nakatulong ka. So it's like that. So sometimes ako as a human being, as an alien, so yan, sometimes when you really think of those people, because I am seeing sometimes on the streets, diba, those people who are PWDs, that they are not like us, that can move around with our head, with, you know, the completeness of our well-being, diba? So when I think about that, grabe, sobrang, you and I, guys, are one of those lucky ones. So, syempre, we only have one life, kaya take care of it. Like, no matter how shitty situations is, do not lose hope. Okay? Kasi I have been in those many kinds na circumstances that you wanted to give up. But don't. Nakahirap sabihin, no, pag ganun, pero basta guys, you will be able to overcome it eventually. Trust yourself, and trust, you know, trust God that He may be able to help you recover. Daldal ko, nakakaloka. Wala kasing tao, wala yung pinsan ko. So, I'll be here. Ako na lang yung ano dito, bata. So, nandito mga titas and titos ko. Anyways, continue. Wala tayo. Franco is engaged to a paraplegic girl who had been resigned to a life of passivity after her accident. On their first day together, he drove his car on a trip to the nearby hills. Unfortunately, the car broke down and the two of them were felt stranded on a deserted patch of road. His fiancée panicked. Even Frank admits to having lost his nerve, but eventually they managed to get help, and as is usual after small victories of this kind, they both emerge afterward feeling much more confident of themselves. Okay? So another sample studied by the Milan group was made of several dozen individuals who were either congenitally blind or had lost their sight sometime after birth. Again, what is so remarkable about these interviews is the number of people who describe the loss of their sight as a positive event that has enriched their lives. Pilar, for instance, is a 33-year-old woman whose retinas became detached from both eyes when she was 12 and who has been unable to see ever since. My heart goes to all of those people who are blind and are still here. You're basically doing your job, so keep up the good work. It's not easy, right? So, blindness freed her from a painfully violent and poor family situation and made her life more purposeful and worthy than it probably would have been had she stayed home with her sight intact. Yun yung term pala, guys. Rewarding. Yun pala yung correct term. Okay? So, probably would have been, like many other blind people, she now works as an operator at a manual telephone exchange. Okay? Among her current flow experiences, she mentions working, listening to music, and cleaning friends' car, and anything else I happen to be doing. At work, what she enjoys most is knowing that the calls she has to manage are clicking along smoothly and the entire traffic of conversation meshing like the instruments of an orchestra. At such times, she feels like I'm God or something. It is very fulfilling. Among the positive influences in her life, Pilar mentions having lost her sight because it made me mature in ways that I could never have become, even with a college degree. For instance, problems no longer affect me with the pathos they used to, and the way that they affect so many of my peers. Kalma muna tayo, guys. I'm thirsty, pero nandun sa baba yung water, so just breathe in and breathe out, you know. going back, guys. Okay, Paolo, who is now 30, lost the use of his eyes entirely 6 years ago. He does not list blindness among the positive influences, but he mentions 4 positive outcomes of this tragic event. First, although I realize and accept my limitations, I am going to keep attempting to overcome them. Second, I have decided to always try changing those situations I don't like. Third, I am very careful not to repeat any of the mistakes I make. And finally, now I have no illusions, but I try to be tolerant with myself so I can be tolerant with others also. It is astonishing how, for Paulo, as for most of the people with handicaps, the control of consciousness has emerged in its stark simplicity as the foremost goal. But this does not mean that the challenges are purely intrapsychic. Paolo belongs to the National Chess Federation. He participates in athletic competitions. For the blind, he makes his living by teaching music. He lists playing the guitar, playing chess, sports, and listening to music among his current flow experiences. So, yun yung maganda, no? When you are, like, wala ka na talagang choice but to create more varieties of um, things, do varieties of things to know where you belong. But in his case, marami siyang criteria. So, ayan. Recently, he finished 7th in the swim meet from the handicap in Sweden, and he won a chess championship in Spain. His wife is also blind and coaches a blind women's athletic team. He is presently planning to write a braille text for learning how to play the classical guitar. Yet none of these astonishing achievements would matter much if Paulo did not feel in control of his inner life. Okay? At the end of the day, ganun pa rin. What you want to see outside of your external environment, it all comes within, diba? So, it's always been like that. Okay guys, so cut ko na muna. I need to do something. Nakakapikon nga eh. Na babad trip na naman ako. Anyways, thank you for listening and thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation. Good night.